Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and that is a very important vehicle for the Lexus brand. That is their best seller. That is the 2023 Lexus RX. We have the 350h hybrid trim with all-wheel drive, and in this video, I'm going to take you on a quick tour, take it out for a spin. Stay tuned. Before we get too far into this one, I do want to thank Lexus for bringing this to us to review for a full week for you here on this channel. But since I've got the hood popped, let's talk about what powers this 350h hybrid model. So yes, there are gas, hybrid, and plug-in hybrid variants of this vehicle. We have the 350h, perhaps their best selling of the line, which means it gets this 2.5 liter four-cylinder mated to electric motors, and yes, it is a hybrid system, very similar to the hybrid system we recently tested in the Toyota Sienna Woodland Edition. Very similar system. It's the Toyota hybrid system using a nickel metal hydride battery and a rear electric motor for electronic full-time all-wheel drive. Here in this model, like I said, 2.5 liter inline four-cylinder, and the entire system output is rated at 246 horsepower and 233 pound-feet of torque, which makes for a really decent, comfortable ride around town in this comfortable luxury crossover. Fuel economy on this model is rated at 36 city, 34 highway, and 37 combined. You may have also noticed the transverse nature of this 2.5 liter four-cylinder. Yes, this is a front drive based platform shared with the likes of the traditional Toyota Highlander, hence the shared platform and the shared powertrains across all of it. Closing the hood here, we can appreciate the style updated for 2023. This Lexus RX kind of tones down the spindle grille up front here just a little bit, but after having the all-electric Lexus RZ, we can definitely see that they were aiming to fit the styling of that electric vehicle to this traditional SUV in their lineup. The style of that electric vehicle very much mimics a slightly smaller version of this. So yes, we get an updated look at the Lexus spindle grille. It is a little less in your face than previous generations and previous models. We get this body color upper portion down here, and it just kind of fades into an open lower grille here. We do get LED headlights, LED turn signals, LED run lights, LED fog lights, LED all the things up here. Really sleek and nice look. In our particular model here, this 350h with this silver paint job, which, if you know me, silver is not my favorite, but it works here on this classy vehicle in the crossover segment. Coming up to the wheels and tires, these are the same wheel design that we had on our RZ that we tested not that long ago. It is a very nice dark finish on a 20-inch wheels. These are wrapped in Bridgestone Alenza 235/55 R21-inch rubber. They do a good job on the road. I've put quite a few miles on this one. I've taken it down to Houston and back. Road noise is not really an issue with this one. It is a very comfortable ride overall. We'll talk more about that when we're driving it. Coming around to the side profile of this one, again, you can see some of the shared styling between this and that RZ. You've got that floating roof design that the fourth generation really made it so prominent, carried over here to this fifth generation model. This really is a competitive vehicle for the Lexus brands. It goes up against the likes of the Cadillac XT5, BMW's 3, maybe 5 series, and some very, very stiff competition. This vehicle over the past 2 years has made up nearly 40% of the brand sales. So if you've seen a Lexus on the road, more than likely it's this Lexus RX platform. I've been seeing them everywhere since we got our hands on this one. I will go ahead and come up here and show you that we do have running boards that look like they are non-existent here with the doors closed, but when we get inside, you'll see just how large those running boards really are, and we'll talk more about their usefulness when we get to it. Coming around to the back, we get new updated styling back here in the back. Gone is the Lexus L logo, replaced by the word Lexus spelled out. That is a very easy way to tell the new models from the old. Any updated Lexus design is going to have this Lexus spelled out on the back. We get LED taillights back here and a light bar that goes across the entire back, including our RX 350h all-wheel drive badges back here. We do have a hands-free power liftgate back here. You just have to kick under the rear bumper right there in the middle and it opens the rear hatch. We have plenty of cargo room back here. I am impressed with just how much room is back here. This size class really is something that our family would need or want when shopping for our next vehicle. We do have 60/40 split bench rear seats that are power folding, which is not my favorite because that power mechanism does take quite a while to fold the seats down. I say they're 60/40, they're actually 40/20/40. This center section has a manual latch. If I can grab it from back here, I'll show you when we get inside, but that can be folded down independently or it rides here with the driver's side. So that is your 60% in that 60/40 split. Underneath the carpeted floor mat here, we do have a handle to lift up the false load floor, and we get a temporary spare tire on a black wheel here. So that is a very interesting look, but you get your jack and all your equipment to fix a flat back there as well. You do have hatch mounted buttons to open and close it. I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm 5'10". This is how wide the opening is, right at 6 feet. And if you can't reach those buttons, well, good luck, because you can just come back under here and kick to close. All right, before we get into this one, I did want to show you the Lexus key. Traditional Lexus key, nothing too special about it here, but I do want to call out something special that Lexus has been doing lately. So you can see here we have lock, unlock, hatch, and a panic button back here. No remote start button, but this does have remote start. To access it, you push once, twice, and hold a third time on the lock button, and it'll give you some blinks of the turn signals, running lights, and the vehicle will turn on. Previous Lexus products have turned off when you go to unlock the vehicle or even open a door. But here on this one, I just touch my hand on the back of the door handle. It's actually an electronic door handle with a popper on the back that opens the door, but I've got the vehicle open and unlocked and it is still running and cooling off. That is a feature that is absolutely needed here in hot East Texas summers. We absolutely love that. That was a feature that was keeping us from seriously looking into Toyota and Lexus as a brand for our family, because remote start just needs to run as we're loading our kid up in the back so we can have cool air blowing on him while we're getting ready and not having to go around and start the vehicle before we can ever load him in. It just makes the whole process easier. If you haven't noticed, this is a proximity key. I could just keep it in my pocket, purse, wherever you want to keep the key, you can. You can lock it by pressing right here, and that is on all 4 doors as well. You can unlock it by putting your hand, just tapping it on the back of the door handle, but these are electric door handles. They actually don't move whatsoever because you can just pull on the back side of it and they electronically release. So that is a nice touch. Same goes for getting out of it. You just push on this button here and it electronically releases. If the battery is dead, you can pull out on this and mechanically unlock it. And that is a feature that rarely comes into play. That is only if the vehicle is completely dead. I will call out here all your buttons for your window and mirror controls, lock and unlock. Because of those electronic door handles, you don't hear a clunk of the locks locking and unlocking. It basically is a enabling and disabling of the electronic touchpad on the back of the doors. So it really is a weird feature, not knowing if your doors are unlocked when you push the unlock button, but it's something that you would get used to over time. The interior of ours is not quite as nice as that RZ that we tested not that long ago here on the channel. We do get some micro suede in this one, but nowhere near the amount of micro suede that we got in that RZ. You can see starting here on the door, we get some chocolate micro suede around this Mark Levison speaker here. We get leather here on the door. It is a nice look between the black and the chocolate. It breaks up the dark black interior. Coming to these seats, you can see we also get micro suede here on the sides, perforated leather in the middle because these are heated and ventilated. Even get a little micro suede up here on the headrest as well. It's a nice seat design. It has been very comfortable for me on my journeys to and from Houston. You can see we have power all the way here, power lumbar, and a power thigh extender here for you long-legged folks. So that is a nice touch as well. Pulling that in, I do want to call in before I get into it, see how much of the running board is now exposed with that door open. So if you need it, you do have a step here. Although I have found the height of this vehicle for me at 5'10", I just step right over it. Getting in, closing the door. You can see we remote started it, so it's telling me we're not ready to drive yet. I put my foot on the brake and push the power button, and the steering wheel comes into place. It's waiting for me to buckle up before it puts my seat into place. Starting over my left knee and working my way across, we have your odometer, trip computer reset, your brightness for your gauge cluster, 3-person memory driver seat, really like that, fuel door release, hatch release, and way down here is your hood release. Coming over to the steering wheel, it is the exact same steering wheel from the RZ, except this one, it's got some wood touches on it. I really like that. It is a heated steering wheel. It's very nicely padded where there isn't wood, so the wood does take away from a little bit of the cushion of this one. This one does have the Lexus Safety Sense 3.0 in it, so it does have these eyeballs staring back at me, making sure I'm paying attention to the road, and it will gripe at me if it notices that I have not been looking forward long enough, just reminding me to pay attention to the road. We do get the same digital gauge cluster from the RZ. This interior feels very much like the RZ, and I think that is on purpose because, again, the RX that I'm sitting in here makes up nearly 40% of the brand sales, so they know it is a vehicle that works for them. So when it comes to the brand's first electric vehicle in that RZ, they wanted to mimic this as much as possible. I don't know how well you can see it, but we do have a head-up display right up there. It gives me pertinent information. That way I really don't have to look down at this screen too much. There is a lot of anti-glare on this one. Makes it look a little fuzzy, not quite as crisp. The steering wheel buttons on this one, I went into great detail on my review of the RZ, but you can see there are capacitive. You just hold your thumb over the button and it tells you on the head-up display exactly what it does. But you can hit this page button down here and go through multiple different functions of these buttons, and that is true of both sides of the steering wheel. I like it enough, but I've noticed here with the track forward and back button, you have to put your thumb on here to trigger these controls before you can actually hit the button to go to the next track. So it is a little laggy when it comes to its day in, day out performance. You can see in our hybrid model, again, I've taken this to Houston and back. We've done some city driving in it, back and forth. 541 miles on it, and we're averaging 33.7, which isn't quite what the window sticker says, but it is good enough for this very comfortable two-row family hauler. Coming over here to the infotainment screen, very nice unit. The actual infotainment portion of it, I do believe, is 12.3 inches, horizontally opposed, but they claim this entire area is 14 inches because this down here is all touchscreen as well. You get dual zone climate up here. There is a rear zone climate control, and you can see when you do that, the driver's control is what switches for rear controls back there. We do have ventilated and heated front seats. I have them on auto mode. I absolutely love that. It looks at what my climate is set at and what the exterior temperature is and turns them on or off as needed. But very much like that. We do have a small but effective volume knob here, and your heated windshield, windows or mirrors and rear window buttons right there. Really like the park and camera buttons here on this one. This does have 360 cameras in it, but when you're just sitting here parked and you hit the camera button, it does this weird pan. You can't pause it, you really can't do much with it, but when you put the vehicle in reverse, you can see we get very nice camera displays, clear and crisp. We get a full top-down view along with a view in front of us. If I were to put it, or behind us, if I were to put it in drive, it gives me the view in front of us. One cool thing that Lexus does is when you start moving, the cameras remember what was where, and it turns the vehicle invisible. So as I drive over places that I've already been in this vehicle, you can see it fills in and closes in that gap as to what I am over or driving around here in this Lexus. I've had a few people ask me what the benefit of that is. Once you've experienced it and lived with it, it is a very nice feature, even though, yes, you should already know what you've driven over. Helps when parking and things like that. Interesting air vents here. They're split by this chrome bar, but are controlled down here. They do a good job of keeping us cool. I've never been hot in this vehicle. We've got two USB-C ports for charging up here, USB-C port for charging right there, a USB-A port for interfacing with the wired application of CarPlay and Android Auto, but this also has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We do have a Qi wireless charger right there, some storage right there, two cup holders right here with a trick feature up here in this front one. For taller items, you may want to have it in its lower position. You can push this button right here and it actually raises it up. So I'm going to pull that out and show you exactly what I mean. So you can actually push the bottom of that cup holder down and push this button here, raising it back up. Prius style gear selector here. You push over for neutral, reverse is forward, drive is backwards, and then a push button for park. Down here we've got an EV mode button, a brake hold button while in traffic, traction control button, and an off-road button, which I have not used here in my time with this one, but you can see it lights up over there. I'm sure it just distributes power a little bit differently with this electronic all-wheel drive. Again, we have an electric motor back there on the rear axle, no physical connection between the front and the rear in this one. So very nice appointments up here up front. The center console does open both ways, so no matter who needs to get into it, they can without obstructing the other. And then a very nice glove box here. It is damped, it is felt lined, so nothing's going to rattle in it too much. Got nice storage in the cup holders, nice storage down there below. All around, nice comfort up front here. We do have a panoramic sunroof that I'm going to go ahead and start sliding back while I talk to you, because I am 5'10". I have enough headroom, but this glass roof does cut into it just a little bit. The headliner is nice and soft as well in this one. But yes, I'm very comfortable at my average American male frame, and you can see just how large that glass roof is. But before we take this one out and drive it, let's see what the back seat is like in this one. All right, coming up to the back door, just like the front doors, electronically latched. So you just pull on the back of the door handle. Nothing too remarkable there. You can tell this apart from previous gen by the door handles, as well as that front grille and the Lexus spelled out on the back. When you do open the back, you can see that the backseat passengers are not forgotten back here. We get more of that micro suede here on the door. You get window or door lock and unlock and your window controls, as well as that electronic door latch there. We do get manual sunshades back here on the back windows, a feature, again, I really like here in a hot East Texas summer. They do a great job of filling up the entire window, not a lot of gaps in that. Coming around to the side, you can see, I mentioned earlier, we do have power recline. So there is your button for your power recline, and you can see you can fold them forward, and that is its most upright position. You can push it again, push and hold it for just a moment, and it'll beep at you and start folding flat. Since I didn't do it earlier, I do want to show you exactly what that will look like when the seat is folded flat. So not completely flat, a little of an upward angle. We do have top tethers all the way across in this one, so that is a nice touch for parents. I'm going to push and hold that and let that go back into place. While that's moving, you do get perforated leather seats back here, more of that micro suede back here as well. You can use that step, although I don't need it. And climbing in behind myself, closing the door, you can see very roomy back here, and we have a little bit of a hard plastic back here on the back, which works well for us with a kiddo who's always kicking the backs of the seats. We do have a mat pocket here and here on the backs of the front seats. I did mention we had tri-zone climate control, but we also have heated and ventilated outboard seats here as well as 2 USB-C ports back here. I do wish we had ceiling mounted vents instead of vents on the back of the center console. Tucker's always telling us he's a little warm back here, but again, he likes to ride with his sunshade down. I try and put it up as much as I possibly can. Looking up, we have a nice view of the panoramic roof up above us. Even coming around here, looking at myself, sitting in the upright position, my head is touching the ceiling just a little bit, but if I recline my seat, I have a very comfortable seating position. Plenty of legroom in front of me, nice view of the roof above me, and a very, very comfortable place to ride. Again, I've got ventilated seats back here. Who could complain back here, really? This is a very comfortable vehicle. Did mention this having a 40-20-40, but before I show off what it looks like with this folded, I do want to show you we do have a fold down center armrest with deployable cup holders right there and a miniature center console here. So if you wanted to store stuff in the middle, you could. Now I'm going to do my best attempt at folding this down. And you can see 40-20-40 split bench seat here in the middle. So if you did have longer items, but you had people riding with you, this would be a nice feature. But again, that I said in the back rides, the center section rides with the driver's side. It actually rides with the passenger side. That is my mistake. It is my desire it would ride with the passenger side or the driver's side, because we do have Tucker's child safety seat in here. If you want to see how easy it is to put this child safety seat in, be sure and hit that subscribe button, because our family review will be coming out later this week where we install this. Tucker rides back here, Holly drives, and you get our full family impression of what this is like as a family vehicle. That's enough of the interior tour. Let's get back behind that steering wheel and see how this thing drives. Hopping behind the steering wheel, again, tilt telescoping steering wheel. It is a power tilt telescope, so that is tied in with the memory functions. All the wood accents here also do carry over to the passenger side over there and here to the center console. So I didn't mention all that earlier. Really nice interior appointments. This has been a very comfortable vehicle, not only when it's sitting stationary, but when we slide it over and put it into drive. Again, I took this down to Houston and back for a trip to see some other Toyota vehicles and get to drive those, including the 2024 Toyota Grand Highlander, which Lexus will be getting a version of, and the TX, or as I call it, the Lexus Texas. Very much looking forward to an opportunity to get to drive that one. But setting off in the 2023 Lexus RX 350h with that 2.5 liter 4-cylinder mated to electric motors. Again, this is very reminiscent to the powertrain setup that was in the 2023 Toyota Sienna Woodland Edition that we've tested most recently here on the channel. When it comes to getting out and into traffic, it's plenty quick. I gave you the power numbers earlier. It is what you would expect from a luxury family crossover, from a vehicle that is set to do the sales of this vehicle around 100,000 units a year here in the States. Again, it does everything right. It's not overly offensive in any way, shape, or form. I will note, though, that the 4-cylinder engine, in certain circumstances, especially hot East Texas summers, there have been times where it kind of feels like it's out of control, revving a little bit more than the throttle input from my right foot would indicate, just because it's trying to recharge the batteries, it's trying to make sure that the hybrid system has got the power that it needs. But for the most part, it is what you would expect from Toyota's hybrid system. This is the old school hybrid setup from Toyota, their new Hybrid Max powertrain that can be found in that Grand Highlander and in the Sequoia and in the upcoming 4Runner, which we don't know anything about as of this recording, but I know it's going to get the same engine as the Tacoma on which it's based. You get the idea. The Hybrid Max is a different setup than this traditional hybrid system here in this 2023 Lexus RX. It all works very well. You get that instantaneous torque feel from the electric motors while still getting really good fuel economy. Again, 33.7 in our time with it. Spent a lot of Houston driving, but anyone who's been to Houston knows 610 can be a parking lot. So there is that factored into it as well. We've also taken Tucker to and from school, gone to church, things like that here in this one. Speaking of going to church, again, this is a very popular model for the Lexus brand. Nearly 40% of the brand sales. Since I set off, I have seen 2 on the road since we started driving this today. From my parking spot at church to the door, I passed up 4. They are very popular vehicles, and to that end, Lexus wanted to keep that popularity going. And again, that's why there's nothing just overly offensive about this one. It's very comfortable. It rides very well. The suspension soaks up all the bumps. Visibility in this model is also very good thanks to the rear view camera mirror that can be toggled between an actual rear view mirror and the camera that is mounted back in the back window. Very nice there, as well as all around visibility in this one. It is a very easy vehicle to pilot around town. And while yes, this is not the F Sport handling version or the 500 model, this is a very capable vehicle, and it fits the clientele very nicely. If you're wanting a luxurious, larger 2-row crossover, this would absolutely fit the bill. I've been just overall very impressed with this vehicle in my time with it, and really have no overall complaints. I am finding as I get into higher numbers of age, more advanced years, I appreciate this platform, this segment all that much more. It is very comfortable, trades out sport for comfort, and it works. I've been overall very impressed with this. Again, if you do want to see our family review, what this is like for our family, what Holly thinks of it here behind the wheel, what Tucker thinks of it back there, be sure and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified when new videos, including that family review, drops. We also have a second channel where we feature high-end premium luxury vehicles and high-end enthusiast sports cars and the like over on GT Premium Reviews on YouTube. Absolutely go give our second channel a look. Full cinematic quality reviews there. You won't want to miss it. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, in the best-selling Lexus vehicle across the board, the 2023 Lexus RX 350h all-wheel drive. Until next time, gearheads. Bye. Could you go any slower, Nissan? My goodness. A hybrid all-wheel drive version of the vehicle. But since I have the hood open with the strut,